ReliaQuest Bowl down in Tampa on the last day of 2024. They beat Alabama twice in the same calendar year with a great start, an old school hang on and play defense to win it. There he is, former Wolverine Jim Scarcelli, all smiles on New Year's Eve as Michigan wins this game 19-13, and they finish up the season 8-5, and on a 3-game winning streak. Who would have thought that? Scar as goes Northwestern, Ohio State, and Alabama. What are your thoughts?
Great win, Danny. We got 4 first-round draft picks that didn't play. Their best player played. I couldn't believe Milroe played. But, Danny, what? Tampa Bay is the game was in Tampa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tampa. Okay. That's where they make those cigars. There might be a couple cigars getting fired up tonight. I have great memories after my last game, the Fiesta Bowl winning, and these guys are going to have a good time in Tampa tonight. But then it was the football gods. I think it rained a little bit last year too before the game, didn't it? When we played, wasn't the field a little wet last year? I think it was. The football gods were looking after the Wolverines. If I'm going to play Jalen Milroe in Alabama, I want to get Milroe on a wet surface. And it couldn't have been a better situation for us to have a little bit of rain, soak that field down a little bit, and beautiful. Looking after Michigan, the tough things we went through, but it was a great coaching effort by Sharon Moore. We'll get into some things. But the MVP, Danny, in my opinion, and I text this to my buddies, to Jerry and Vinny and the guys before I said, one of the most important things for this football game for Michigan was that our 2 young running backs secured the football. Our 2 young running backs secured the football. And they both did. But how about this kid, Marshall, number 23? He's my MVP. Wow. We got us a running back, tough, physical, secured the football, got tough yards in a tough game. But it's a great day for Michigan. A lot of enthusiasm going into the offseason. Damn near everybody that played today is coming back. So it's just a great day for these guys, man, and this coaching staff.
There's Jordan Marshall, had 23 carries for 100 yards. The question for me is if you didn't have that downpour, you didn't have the football look like it was a bar of soap in the tub for Alabama back there, and Alabama getting sacked on their first series and turning the ball over. Then they go fumble, interception. And before you know it, boom. I mean, Alabama was not ready to play the game. They couldn't handle the elements. Michigan took advantage of it. It's a credit to them. And even though you'd like to have seen them even capitalize more and have a bigger lead than 16-0, you wondered if there was no rain and there wasn't all those turnovers, how the game would have turned out. But of course, that's why they play the game. You put them out there and you have to deal with all those kind of things. You have to have your trainers ready to go with the footwear. And you even heard the sideline reporter talking about, they practice with drenched footballs down there and everything else. But Alabama was not prepared for that. And their offense, you got to give it up to Wink, because this was the same thing that I thought watching Ohio State. It's like Ohio State coach. They can't coach themselves out of a wet paper bag. I was thinking the same thing watching Alabama. And after a while, you have to look over there. I mean, you give credit to the other team, but you give credit to Michigan for the way they played defense in this game.
Danny, listen, the weather conditions affected both teams, but I think with their quarterback, the way he runs so well, him on a wet surface takes a big part of what they want to do away. But I think I know people might want to beat up our offensive play calling, but I think this is the kind of game, Danny, where I've been a coordinator, I've been a head coach. This is the kind of game where a head coach is really communicating with and feeling with both sides of the ball. He's talking to Wink, he's talking to Casulo, because they're both, the play calling is dictated by how much confidence Wink has are we going to stop them? It doesn't look like they're moving the ball. So I think it was a Sharon Moore takeover type of deal where you're dictating a lot of the play calling, and people might have been frustrated with it, but I mean, he just figured, hey, man, they're not going to score on us. As long as we don't let them throw it over our head. They threw one over our head. They got one bomb on us. They caught us in a 3D coverage. And Denny, the weakness, and that's all I ran the hell out of 3D coverage. The weakness of 3D coverage is 4 vertical. Is when they send 4 vertical, because when there's 3 guys covering 4, you know, it's tough. And that's what they did. That's how they scored their touchdown. But Wink did some good things. Wink is worth his $2.5 million, man. But Denny, there's so many good things. Look, if you want to start with the defense, I know this as a guy who was a backup, and once you get a chance to start, how about Ike, the way he played? Benny was sound. Benny played as good as he's ever played. Pierce was a different guy, getting the start. He didn't get knocked out of there at all. None of our guys really got knocked off the ball at all against Alabama. Ike was in there. I like Ike. You get that from way back, right?
Oh yeah.
He made some plays. He's a guy that is definitely going to be a guy we can count on in there. And Ito Etta was sound and good, but those were the guys that I was really concerned about. Was that inside 4, having lost our top guys. But I thought those 4 guys were good. Our edge players were sound. We had the big sack early. Moore and TJ Guy both did great things. Brandt was good in there, rotating in. We did see a little bit of Nichols, the young guy. We didn't see much. I thought we might see the freshman linebacker, but we really didn't see him. Our linebackers, Barham and Hausman, did some good things. Rolder did some good things. Our secondary was good. We let the ball outside the defense once or twice, but you know, we didn't give up bombs where that one play down at the end where the guy was just out of bounds. Williams, Hill just pushed him out of bounds. But our secondary was pretty sound. But Wink called a really good game, and you've got to take the weather conditions, and you've got to understand what people want to do in the weather conditions. And I think our coaches did a little better job of understanding that. And and that has a lot to do with your game plan and how you call a game, both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I thought Derek Moore was a real force, and I thought all of the guys in the secondary, there were not a lot of big plays. Ryan Williams is an excellent player, and you're talking about that play that Hill made. Michigan was buzzing him. Amir Hall playing his last game at the Maize and Blue. That guy was a ball hawk. Brandon Hillman's a huge hitter. I like him. You know, you think about him in the secondary as a safety next year. He's somebody that, if I'm a wide receiver and I'm coming over the middle, I'm worried about where he's at on the field, because he's coming and he's going to lay you out. And he's shown that. I used to think that was something that you couldn't have in the modern game, somebody that can just come out and just lay you out and be that kind of ferocious hitter. But he's shown that he's knows the technique, can put himself in the position, and he's a scary player. All of those guys, I go through the linebackers, defensive line, they did a great job. You know, I know that the 2 final drives of the half, Alabama got something going, but they weren't going to shut them out, and to hold Ohio State to 10 points and then come back and hold Alabama to 13 points. That's what you say, man.
Yeah, that's defense, man.
Job, man.
Yeah, Denny, and another thing, a lot of people talked about Wink being so aggressive. Well, he was damn aggressive today.
Yes, he was.
He was bringing corners. Again, the game plan is based on the opponent, and there's reasons he felt it was the right thing to do. I mean, we caused a turnover early in the game. Hall coming off the edge, right, stripping the quarterback. That was one of them. Yeah, that was a corner blitz. A lot of it was bringing 4, but sometimes he brought 5, and at the end he brought 6 a couple times. But a lot of. You talked about Moore. We had the game plan was just like last year. Squeeze him in. He really didn't get outside the pocket much. And then when he did step up, there wasn't no huge runs in there. He did have the good long run. I was upset with that at the end of the half. Remember, we put him down to the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
And then, but Wink ran a scheme, and we weren't sound. It was I can't believe that's how it was supposed to be executed. We had nobody on our left side of the defense, and he ran. It had a good long run in there, but yeah, Danny. Defensively, again, it was. I guess that's about covered just about all of it, man. It was just a good sound. I told him again. I said, can we keep these guys under 17? Because I thought we'd have a hard time scoring more than 17, and sure enough, we kept them under 17, man. So great defensive performance.
Yeah, you did say that, and you gave the MVP to Jordan Marshall. I would look to Derek Moore, or I would look to Dominic Zavada. Zavada was huge in this game with all the field goals, but he gives you confidence. 4 for 4, he can make them from 50 plus, and it's got to be comforting. It was frustrating to watch. I'm sure for a lot of Michigan fans now, are you just going to really just run the ball up the middle every single time? Even after Davis Warren gets hurt, you wonder if you're going to see Jaden Davis. You bring in Orgy, and they still you just handing it off up the middle. But you get into field goal range, and you feel like that you've got Mr. Automatic right there, and he can make it from anywhere. He doesn't miss, and that's a great security blanket to have. I don't know. I'd give 3 stars out. You go Marshall on the offense. I'd go Moore on the defense with multiple sacks. And then I would look for Dominic Zavada, who was the Michigan MVP this year. And, those are – you go to a lot of other places, but – I would look there. How about this question from
Danny, the securing the football was such a huge thing with these conditions and hard to do. And we really outplayed them and outcoached them and outperformed them. Our guys secured the football. I mean, Alex threw the – if I got Alex in the game 3rd and 15, I was calling for the bomb. That's the last pass I wanted to have him throw, was the one that was picked off. I wanted him to throw a bomb there, but no, I mean, securing the football was so huge in this football game. But go ahead. What's your question?
I got a question coming in from Michigan Go Blue 1234, who says he liked the game plan on defense. Offense was as expected. Great momentum into 2025. What do you guys take from this game for next year?
Oh, just confidence, man. I mean, you if you're looking at our defense, hell, almost all those guys are coming back, so they're going to have so much. The coaches got to feel real good about the inside D line. I mean, I know that's a big thing that I was concerned with. And you've got 4 guys that went in and did a good job. You've got 3 edge guys that that played well and did a damn good job. You beat a good football team today, and then our secondary played good. So defensively, it was a beautiful. Coaching, all the position coaches were good. The players were good. Our special team was good. Our left-footed punter got in there and did a pretty good job. I thought he took a little long one time. I thought it might have got blocked, but our long snap special teams were good, man. And then on a game like this, you don't ever take catching the damn punt for granted. The ball's a little wet. We caught all the punts. We snapped all the balls. We kicked all the extra points. And then offensively, we had just the 1 turnover, right? From Alex?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So, I mean, listen, you've got to feel good about your running back situation. I saw Marshall play in person against Dante Moore a couple years ago down here in Detroit. And I saw
Jordan Marshall, the running back.
Marshall. Yeah, I saw Marshall play against Dante Moore a couple years ago here in Detroit. And I saw the elusiveness and the speed, but I didn't see the toughness like I saw today. They put 10 pounds of muscle on that kid, and he was looking like a quorum type, falling, getting the extra yard. So you've got to feel good about our running back situation with the Alabama kid coming in. It'll be interesting to see what the hell happens at quarterback. Who's coming back? Is Orgy coming back? Is Davis Warren coming back? We really don't know. But our tight ends were good today, Denny. Well, let's talk about our offense. Let's get into the offensive line because, you had Crippen. He's coming back. You had our 2 guards. We're losing Preeb, but Gio was sound. And Sprague I thought Sprague was pretty good. I talked to Flame at halftime, the old Michigan captain, 64, and he thought Sprague did a good job too, and a pretty good job in there too. So we got our tackles. It looks like that's the way we're going to go. Sprague is going to be a 3-year starter, and then we got Link coming back. But I thought our tight ends did a good job blocking. I thought that was a chicken shit call on Hogan, that face mask. I looked at it. It was a terrible call. Terrible call. And that was a terrible call on Barham at the end. Hitting the quarterback in the chest. Are you kidding me? I mean, what the hell is that? That was a terrible call.
You should be able to challenge that, right?
Yeah. This is the kind of game, Danny, this is the kind of game where speed and space, little guy receivers, on a wet surface, it doesn't do you much good, You need some big guys you could throw the ball to, because we tried to throw some bubbles today to Morgan and some of those guys. But I thought it was just a great job by our leadership, calling, understanding what he had, how well his defense was playing, staying conservative, knowing, listen, man, let's put it on them to move the ball on our defense.
Yeah, and then the quarterback position, this game, you'd say it's similar. It was a low-scoring game like Ohio State. That was a 13-10 game. This was a 19-13 game. But like that, Davis Warren just goes for 73 yards. Alex Orji only throws the ball 3 times for 3 yards. I mean, he was no threat to be able to throw the ball. It was weird that Orji goes into the transfer portal. He stays around. And then he's in there, and he's huge in this part of the game. You wonder about Jaden Davis. You wonder about Davis Warren with the knee, what that's going to be. You put a big question mark there. But then you're just thinking, man, if you had – this was a team that caught fire on defense and, starting, I guess, with the last 4 games of the year. And you just wonder where it would have been if they had, better quarterback play, but that's in the past. But now you're looking ahead, and they've got a lot of new quarterbacks, so that room's going to look different. And I was going into this game saying that Michigan gets a free pass if they lose this game. They have so many of their stars out. Alabama's got everything. They got their quarterback. They're motivated because they lost to Michigan last year. They're motivated because they were the last one out in the college football playoff. They're motivated because they've had 10 wins since 2008, all of those things. And I'm thinking that, Alabama, the line moves up to, 17 points before kickoff. And it's like, look, just go out there and, can Michigan have some bright spots like Jordan Marshall, whatever else. But to be able to get the victory and, build it after the Ohio State game, now you've just got crazy momentum. If you're
Danny, you make it sound like Michigan doesn't have anything to be motivated about. You make it sound like, this is a bowl game, man. This is a bowl game on national television. You're going down there with your brothers. You've practiced, you're coming off a couple great, you beat Northwestern's ass. You beat Ohio State. You're fired. You've got enthusiasm. There's motivation for Michigan too, man, to go out and play hard in this football game. So, Danny, I think we are in a real good place. I think our recruits got to feel confident about where we are as a program. Our transfers should feel good. And if there's any other guys out there that we have shots at, I know there's a big defensive end. I know that Penn State, I think he's from Pennsylvania, the Penn State, everybody wants this kid. So he still hasn't decided. But listen, for where we are as a program, the confidence level is high. The enthusiasm is high. We should be able to, any more recruits out there, it can help us. But you've got a lot of damn good people coming back on all sides of the ball. And this game was great for Hogan to get more reps, for Sprague to now get a start under his belt. So this game will have an impact, Danny, when we go to Oklahoma next year. That's where everything that was done today with all these guys that got reps, it'll be a factor in that game. I was pissed off at our punt coverage. We got them on the 5-yard line and we lit them out. I don't know what the hell was going on there. That irritated me.
Yeah, I still think you get this crazy momentum going into the off season with an unexpected win like this that can't be talked about enough. if you're just sitting back and watching this game, it's great to have full faith in the coaching staff and everything else. I was surprised at the play calling and the approach. This reminded me a little bit of not this year, but last year's Penn State game where they ran it every time. Everybody knew they were going to run it. And you're thinking, can you pull one pass or two passes to win this game? Because
so then what you're saying then you're winning the game against a team that's not moving the ball on you in a wet slop field. You're telling me you would have thrown the football more?
In the second half, I would have tried some forward passes. I would just put it like this. Sharon Moore gets all the credit. He went out there, he had his game plan, and they won the game. That's what matters. That's, so all credit goes to him. I'm just telling you how I was feeling during the game. I was second guessing what they were doing. I didn't feel good about it. I thought they were hanging on. I thought they needed to make a play on offense. I didn't think they could just, they were going to give Alabama too many opportunities there. I didn't feel good about it. And, towards the end when they got down there, you got to give it to them. It was like flashbacks of the Rose Bowl last year, stopping Jalen Milroe and Alabama down there when they had to do it. And they did it. So they get all the credit there. I'm just saying, look, I didn't think Dan Campbell should have played in the Jared Goff or the Amon-Ra St. Brown or Jahmyr Gibbs in the second half last night. But he gambled. He did it because that's what he wanted to do, to show his team that's how they play football. And, he came out, and I'm not criticizing him. I just gave my thoughts before the game. I didn't think he should have done that. And then I'm just telling you my thoughts during this game that I was thinking, man, this is not, I don't think this is going to work. It didn't work. So you give him credit. I mean, great job.
Yeah. The passing I wanted to see would have been the stuff we did with Alex on the goal line, in the past. That's the stuff I wanted to see. Danny, the short, flat pass, rollout, bootleg stuff. 5-yard pass. That would have been the stuff I was hoping to see maybe in some of those situations. But and I don't know why they didn't really call more quarterback ISO with Alex Orji. But I tell you what, I'd like to know how that decision came about. Where because if Alex Orji's in the portal and he doesn't play in this football game, I mean, we got a true freshman in the game who hasn't played.
Right.
I don't know that we win that football game. You know what I mean? I don't know. So I give, you think about, Denny, you think about decisions these guys are making. Alex Orji, whether he ever plays at Michigan again, I mean, he's a hero, man. He's a guy that played the whole game, not like the kid at Miami. He played the whole game to help his team win. And, I hate to beat that up, but it matters. It matters to his teammates. It matters to the Michigan fans. So I think Alex Orji is a hero. He made one mistake today. And our quarterback, Davis Warren, made one mistake. Throw the damn ball out of bounds on that play he got hurt on. And you're right, Jesse. Wink is called a great game in I last couple games. And I sure as hell hope, because you never know, Danny. You just never know how relationships are. We believe, you'd have to believe that relationship is good with Sharon Moore and Wink. But I hope that relationship is great and that Wink don't go nowhere. I don't want that guy going anywhere.
No, you want him coming back. He went from everyone questioning him to bowing up and showing everybody that, who he is. And that was impressive. I'd say, the Michigan, the program overall, I was pretty down on the coaching staff following the Indiana game with the performance. I didn't like nobody did, letting the clock run down at Indiana. Sharon Moore, it felt like he got his, caught with his pants down when he was standing there in Oregon. And Dan Lanning ran that fake punt or whatever, and they didn't call a timeout, gave him a turnover. It seemed like it was the turning point of the game. And I'm thinking, man, the coach looks a little bit like he's in over his head. But then, the Northwestern game, they all talked about, we needed to focus up to beat Northwestern. And I know a lot of people bought into that. Maybe I need to buy in more. I need more of a buy-in. Like, oh, hey, these guys beat Northwestern. I'm buying it. But, they talked about it. They beat Ohio State. Then they went out there. I didn't really think they had a shot at all today. And then they went out there and won the game the way they did it, especially the defense coming up big.
Yeah, Denny, I tell you, before it started to rain, I looked at our inside guys on defense, and and I tell you, I've always said I kind of get a feel early on the line of scrimmage.
You do say that.
I could tell the first couple plays when I saw Big Pierce and Big Benny in there holding up strong. I said, you know what, we're going to be okay in there, because as long as they can't just pound us, we got a chance. And our whole defense starts with the two inside guys on defense. McDonald and Minner, they both call it the tip of the spear. We got to be good there for our defense to have a chance. So the Michigan fans should feel real confident about our coaching staff, about our leadership, about our players coming back, about the quarterback. We got the quarterback room next year. My confidence level is way different than it was going into this past year. So we've got a quarterback room that I'm confident with. We got a running back room that I'm confident with. The only question now is our tight end room is good. Our offensive line is great. We've recruited good players there. It's the receiver room. I know the big receiver from Indiana is good. I remember when we defended that kid.
Yeah,
he's a problem.
McCall, yeah.
Well, the question is, what is this Chandler? Some of these guys and some of these freshmen, are they going to step up and really give us the receiver room that we need? But I definitely know we're gonna upgrade at the quarterback room and probably the running back room also.
Yeah, Shannon Goodwin is who you're talking about.
I keep forgetting his name.
That's all right. I didn't see him out there today. Amari and Stewart, they got a couple guys coming in and some big ones and highly touted and fast ones as true freshmen. There's seems like every other day there's some kind of report that they're in on some wide receiver in the transfer portal now, and that you still have the spring and that phase to go out there and be able to get one too. And Bryce Underwood just committed. I mean, he didn't play against Northwestern or Ohio State, but it seems like everything's just come up roses. Since he committed, it seemed like everything is turned and Michigan's back and looking good. Scar, we're going to just end it. I'm going to take three. We'll read three of the feedbacks, and then we'll just let you have your final thoughts.
Okay,
Jim said if someone would have told him in August that we'd have ended our season with wins over Ohio State and Alabama, I would have assumed it was the semifinals and the finals of the playoffs. Blank name says Fred Moore was having his breakout game till they stopped calling the downfield passes. They were giving it to him on the end around. Obviously, he caught the touchdown pass. So, they in the second half, they didn't throw any passes. That was it. They emptied the bag. They got the big lead, and then I don't know. You want to sit on it or whatever.
I think when Warren got hurt and Alex threw the interception, and the way our defense was playing, Denny, they just said shut it down. We're going to just try to win this game and make a couple first downs and punt it, win it with our punter and our defense. I think that's what they said. We're Davis Warren getting hurt was a factor why they didn't want to throw the ball down the field. And the other question was, yeah, you're right. You thought you went, you beat Ohio State and Alabama.
How about the Jaden Davis not getting into this game? What do you think?
I think it's nothing there. There's nothing to be concerned. They tried to win the game, Danny, and Alex Orji, they felt gave us the best chance. Davis Warren was the guy we beat Ohio State with, and they just said, "Listen, man, we're trying to win this football game." And I tell you, Alex Orji had the one mistake. He threw the pick, but you know what, Danny? Again, I played in coaching these games. You got wet, muck, crummy field conditions. There's fumbles, there's drop balls. It's hard to handle the football.
I think that's a great point, Davis.
And Alex Orji,
he hasn't taken any snaps.
Yeah, Alex Orji handed off every damn ball. He handed off every ball, and it was handled. And there was no bad, nothing in the backfield, no sloppy handoffs. Everything was done properly. So you got to give the guy credit when there's no turnovers from him in a game like this, just handing the ball off. Alabama didn't do that. Okay, Alabama didn't do the simple stuff. in wet, crummy conditions.
Yep, I think that's something that you got to think about. If it was a blowout one way or the other, maybe it would have seen him, but you're in a spot where you got to have everything, the quarterback, not just throw on the bucket. You say, hey, why couldn't he just go up there and hand the ball off? Well, there's a lot of, you got to put everybody in the position. You got to call the plays. You got to get all that going. You got to deal with it. Having that experience could be something. All right, and here's the final one. Ewell says the direction of this program is through the roof. Go Blue.
Yeah, there's a lot of confident people over there. And the momentum is big, man. Momentum is big for your program, the weight room, you know, the optimism. But it's big with the recruiting too. You know, we can start closing deals, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of people fired up, man. We out-coached them, man. We out-programmed them.
Yes, they did.
You know,
I agree.
If you're going to give credit to Wink and our defensive coaches, you've got to give credit to the guy that hired him, you know. And I tell you this too. The play calling today, I guarantee. I wish we could have heard it, or I wish someone would ask this question of Sharon Mork. I guarantee you, he had a lot to do with the play calling today. Determining, he would have told Kasula, look, man, we're shutting this thing down. They ain't moving the ball on us. Okay, we got the lead, and we're not gonna piss it away. We got faith in Wink and the way our defense is playing. So I just would like to ask that question of him if I had the chance. But Denny, hey, we're all fired up. We got a basketball coach. We got a football coach. And life is good.
It is. 25 looks pretty good for the Maize and Blue. Scar, great job. Happy New Year. We'll see everyone over on the Maize and Blue Review all day, all night. Talking football. Scar, again, Happy New Year, and we will talk with you next year.
All right, Danny, go Blue. We'll have film on Monday. Go Blue.